The Young and the Restless spoilers shock Wednesday full episodes 26-2025 in the simmering cauldron of Genoa City's endless intrigues. Alliances are tested and loyalties questioned with every whispered conversation and every clandestine phone call. As new revelations come to light, the city's residents find themselves embroiled in a labyrinth of deception and ambition that leaves no one untouched. Recent events have cast long shadows over families and businesses alike, unraveling secrets that could shift the balance of power forever. It all begins with a private meeting between siblings Lily and Devon Winters. In the quiet sanctuary of a discreet meeting place, Lily's eyes burn with a mix of determination and betrayal. "We were right to suspect Damien," she confides, her voice trembling with urgency. "He's untrustworthy." The weight of her words hangs heavily in the air as she recounts what Victor had revealed to her. According to Victor, the machinations surrounding the Winters family extend far beyond simple mischief. Lily explains how Damien, a figure they had once taken for granted, has been playing them all along in cahoots with someone even more enigmatic, Dumas. Devon, always the more skeptical of the two, listens intently and then remarks, "It seems like Damien and Dumas have been toying with us the entire time." His tone is one of disbelief mixed with anger, hinting at a betrayal that goes deeper than they could have ever imagined. The realization that both Damien and this mysterious Dumas might be pulling the strings behind the scenes forces the siblings to confront the possibility that nothing in their lives is as straightforward as it once seemed. Meanwhile, at Billy's stately home, a place where secrets are whispered and alliances forged in the dark, Sally is hard at work piecing together the latest clues. As she peruses through names and messages on a sleek tablet, one name in particular stands out, Aristotle Dumas. The name sounds hauntingly familiar, evoking memories of whispered rumors and covert dealings. Aristotle Dumas, she questions aloud, her tone laced with suspicion. Billy, ever the consummate showman who has perfected the art of appearing untroubled by the chaos around him, shrugs off her inquiry. "He's a billionaire business mogul," he replies, a hint of nonchalance in his voice that does little to ease Sally's doubts. "But why is he calling you?" Sally presses, her eyes narrowing with concern. She's not easily swayed by Billy's casual dismissal. In Genoa City, nothing is ever as simple as it appears. As the conversation unfolds, Billy reveals that he's deeply involved with Abbott Communications, a connection that, according to Sally, might not be a coincidence. "I think your brother provided all the funding you need," Sally suggests, her tone firm yet laced with personal worry. "I just feel you haven't told me the whole story." Sensing that Sally is on the verge of uncovering something significant, Billy weaves a web of deception. He lies, insisting that it was Dumas's assistant who first called him. Then, in an even more alarming twist, he confesses that he personally returned the call. In a hushed and measured tone that betrays a hidden agenda, Billy recounts how Dumas assured him that he was well aware of what Victor had done, and that he was firmly on Billy's side. "I'm glad for you," Sally responds with cautious optimism, though her words carry an undercurrent of lingering distrust. However, as the night deepens and the city outside grows quiet, Billy slips away from the conscious gaze of the household. Once Sally is sound asleep, he covertly calls Dumas again to discuss the finer points of their quid pro quo arrangement. As the covert transactions continue, the machinations of the powerful begin to reveal themselves in unexpected ways. Michael Baldwin, ever the diligent investigator, stumbles upon a long-forgotten link between Dumas and Victor. His discovery sends ripples through the intricate web of alliances, as it appears that Victor has maintained a long-standing relationship with the enigmatic Dumas, a connection that could prove explosive. This revelation calls into question the very nature of Dumas's role in the ongoing drama. For Billy Flynn, Dumas was purportedly a new player in a game that was already fraught with peril. However, Michael's findings suggest otherwise. The man behind the name Dumas is not an upstart but rather a seasoned operator whose influence spans decades. The young appearance of the actor portraying Dumas on screen is nothing more than a facade masking the gravity of his true persona. It becomes increasingly evident that this mysterious man is someone even Victor, the perennial power player of Genoa City, is somewhat wary of. Dumas is no ordinary businessman. His actions and allegiances reveal a man of considerable intellect and cunning, a man who commands respect and fear in equal measure. Victor's own caution, his well-practiced habit of preempting betrayal, now seems justified in light of Dumas's intricate maneuvering. Dumas is, without a doubt, a force to be reckoned with, a man whose involvement could tip the scales of power in ways that none of the city's denizens have yet foreseen. For Billy, caught between maintaining his carefully curated image and the necessity of aligning with such dangerous figures, the stakes are higher than ever. His dual life, one of public charm and private conspiracies, teeters on the edge of exposure. His reluctant partnership with Dumas, spurred by the promise of mutual gain and the subtle threat of Victor's long arm, is a gamble that could either solidify his standing in the underworld or lead to catastrophic consequences. Sally, still grappling with the enormity of these revelations, finds herself questioning everything she thought she knew about those closest to her. The familiar names, Aristotle, Dumas, Damien, and even Victor, take on new, ominous connotations. Her persistence in uncovering the truth is both admirable and dangerous, as each new piece of evidence threatens to upend the delicate balance of power within her inner circle. As she delves deeper, she can't shake the feeling that the story Billy has told her is only the tip of a much larger iceberg, a complex narrative of manipulation, betrayal, and shifting allegiances that stretches far beyond the walls of her modest home. Back at the Winters household, the conversation between Lily and Devon underscores the pervasive mistrust that has seeped into every corner of Genoa City. The siblings' realization that Damien and Dumas might have been orchestrating their misfortunes together stokes the fires of rebellion in their hearts. For Lily, the confirmation of Victor's earlier warnings is a bitter pill to swallow. Devon, who has always harbored a deep-seated skepticism toward the power brokers that have controlled their lives for so long, sees this as an opportunity to reclaim some measure of control. Their resolve to confront the looming threat grows stronger with each passing moment, even as they brace themselves for the inevitable fallout from these betrayals. As the night unfolds, the parallel narratives of personal betrayal and high-stakes business intrigue merge into a sprawling tapestry of ambition and desperation. On one side, we have the intimate struggles of families like the Winters, whose lives have been upended by the actions of shadowy figures operating in the background. On the other side, the machinations of moguls like Victor and the mysterious Dumas threaten to reshape the very foundation of power in Genoa City. The tension is palpable, as every whispered conversation, every covert phone call, and every hidden alliance sets the stage for a showdown that could leave the city forever altered. Ultimately, the story of these interlocking lives is a stark reminder that in Genoa City, trust is a commodity in short supply, and every alliance is fraught with danger. As Lily, Devon, Billy, Sally, and even the imposing figures of Victor and Dumas navigate this perilous landscape, one truth remains clear: the forces of deception and ambition are always at work, and the next betrayal could be just around the corner. With secrets piling up and loyalties shifting like sand, the residents of Genoa City find themselves caught in a relentless cycle of intrigue, where every decision carries the weight of far-reaching consequences, and the ultimate cost of power may be more than anyone is willing to pay. Between fire and desire, a storm of emotions in Genoa City. In the tangled maze of relationships that define Genoa City, alliances are forged in moments of vulnerability and broken in the wake of bitter betrayal. At this critical juncture, a cascade of emotions and ambitions threatens to upend the delicate balance of power, and it all starts with a phone call. Phyllis, ever the tempestuous queen of her own drama, had allowed Nick to call Sharon in a rare moment of self-proclaimed weakness. Though she appeared conciliatory, offering to serve as an intermediary between Sharon and her estranged son, deep down, Phyllis was already brewing her next storm. Her decision to let Nick step in was less about genuine reconciliation and more about her need to control the narrative. As soon as the call ended, it was evident that Phyllis's facade of compassion was about to crumble. In true form, she began to complain, her voice rising into a tirade of grievances, yelling and screaming with the intensity that only she could summon. It was, after all, the perfect moment for her to keep an eye on what both her son and her longtime enemy were scheming behind closed doors. Meanwhile, an unexpected but palpable attraction began to simmer between Daniel and Sharon. Both seemed to carry scars from their turbulent pasts, traumas that had shaped them into the complex, multifaceted individuals they were today. In quiet, stolen moments, Daniel and Sharon found solace in each other's company. Their connection was not merely one of shared pain, but a compelling fusion of complementary strengths and vulnerabilities. Sharon, who had once dabbled in the affairs of young, impulsive men, Scott, Chance, and others, now found in Daniel a man whose own haunted past resonated with her deepest wounds. It was as if their hearts were speaking a language only they could understand, a language of loss, resilience, and unspoken passion. Yet, while this budding romance kindled hope, the shadows of old betrayals were never far behind. Daniel's past misdeeds, particularly his betrayal of Lily with Heather, cast a long, ominous shadow over his intentions. Heather, whose memory still lingered like a ghost in the corridors of their shared history, had been dead for months, a fact that Daniel hoped would fade with time. Despite the tragedy, Daniel seemed ready to embrace the future, to step into a new chapter with Sharon by his side. But such readiness came with complications. The thought of Lucy, ever protective and quick to judge, entering the picture with her own fierce opinions about her father's romantic entanglements was enough to stir up fresh turmoil. Lucy's disdain for the idea of her father with anyone was legendary, except perhaps when it came to the one exception, Faith's mother. That one anomaly in her otherwise rigid code of conduct hinted at the complexity of her emotions, a complexity that might just become the catalyst for change. All the while, Phyllis, ever the consummate disruptor, would not allow any hint of a new beginning for Sharon and Daniel to pass unnoticed. The possibility of Sharon's rekindled passion with Daniel, an attraction both undeniable and dangerous, was anathema to Phyllis's carefully curated plans. It would drive her to the brink of madness, a reaction that, as much as it troubled her, also fed her twisted sense of satisfaction. For in the chaos of emotions and power plays, Phyllis derived an odd pleasure in stirring the pot, even if her own heart was secretly stirred by the unfolding romance. There was a primal, unspoken acknowledgement that beneath her bluster lay an undeniable intrigue, an attraction to the raw intensity of these new alliances, an attraction she would never openly admit. In the background of all these personal dramas, Genoa City itself thrummed with tension. Conversations in hushed tones revealed that alliances and deceptions were as fluid as the shifting sands of time. Sharon's past, marked by impulsive liaisons and fleeting romances, now collided with her present as she attempted to navigate the treacherous waters of trust and betrayal. Daniel's every word and gesture, laden with the weight of his previous deceptions, was scrutinized by those who remembered the sting of his past betrayals. And while both he and Sharon strove to create something beautiful out of the wreckage of their former lives, the ghosts of previous mistakes continued to loom large. Nick, ever the mediator caught in the crossfire of familial loyalty and personal ambition, found himself in an impossible position. He had to balance the volatile emotions of his mother, Phyllis, with the desperate need to mend bridges with Sharon, a task that seemed as insurmountable as it was necessary. His efforts to reach out to Sharon, though well-intentioned, only added another layer to the intricate puzzle of alliances and enmities that defined their lives. Every word he spoke was measured, every pause laden with unspoken meaning, as he tried to act as the voice of reason in a world gone mad. In a side narrative as twisting as the main plot, the family dynamics were further complicated by the unyielding opinions of those who had seen too much betrayal. Lucy's staunch disapproval of any potential new romance involving her father added fuel to an already blazing fire. Her fierce loyalty to the ideals of family honor clashed with the evolving reality around her, creating a volatile mix of anger, love, and inevitable change. As Lucy braced herself against the tide of new affections threatening to disrupt the status quo, the once clear lines between friend and foe blurred into a tapestry of conflicted loyalties and shifting power. Amidst all the swirling emotions and power plays, the stage was set for a dramatic showdown. Phyllis's oscillation between conciliatory gestures and explosive outbursts served as a constant reminder that in Genoa City, vulnerability and strength were two sides of the same coin. Her willingness to let Nick connect with Sharon was not an act of genuine forgiveness, but rather a calculated risk, a way to see firsthand how the delicate threads of her intricate plans might unravel or be rewoven into something entirely new. Her heart, though hardened by years of strife, could not entirely shut out the possibility that amid the chaos, there might be a sliver of redemption. As the days passed, every conversation, every clandestine phone call, and every whispered secret contributed to the grand narrative unfolding across Genoa City. Daniel and Sharon, bound by their shared scars and a spark of undeniable chemistry, navigated the treacherous terrain of their own desires and fears. Their connection, though raw and untested, held the promise of healing, if only they could overcome the weight of their past and the external forces arrayed against them. Meanwhile, Phyllis's relentless drive to control and manipulate threatened to derail any hope of genuine reconciliation. Yet, in the undercurrent of it all, there was an unspoken understanding that sometimes, the most profound truths emerge from the very chaos we despise. In the end, Genoa City remained a crucible of passion, betrayal, and unexpected alliances, a place where every whispered secret, every act of defiance, and every tender moment of connection contributed to a larger story of survival and transformation. As the complex web of relationships tightened, one thing became clear: in a world defined by fire and desire, only those willing to embrace both the pain and the promise of new beginnings could hope to find redemption. And in that precarious balance between chaos and hope, the characters of Genoa City forged their destinies, each step forward a daring leap into the unknown, each heartbeat a defiant cry against the forces that sought to control them all. February 2nd.